Benjamin Chan, how good to see you, my man. Tell us a little bit about you so people get to know you.
Hey, what's up? I'm Ben Chan. Um, I'm known as the story guy on X. So all I do is tell stories, and with authority, it helps me sign clients. And somehow, for some reason, people follow me.
Very good. Very good. Nice. And so let's rewind a bit. Like, how did you end up on X on Twitter?
Well, about 6 months ago, I came across Danco. Very original, I know. So I started just posting the usual Danco stuff. And after a while, I realized that this kind of content wasn't getting me anywhere. So I just started like trying out different things. I love reading like self-help books. So I started writing about that instead. And then my New Year's resolution was storytelling. So I started mixing storytelling with self-help. And I stumbled upon a bit of the market that didn't have storytelling. So that just blew up and skyrocketed my account. Yeah.
Interesting. And did you see Dan like on YouTube first or here on Twitter? How did you find him?
This one is actually kind of unique. So I was watching random videos, kind of just one of those like 10 ways to beat procrastination or something like that. Random guy said, I invested in this course and it 10x my productivity. So I DM'd him on Instagram. I said, hey, what is this course? And he said, Danco's 2-hour writer. So that was the first time I saw Danco. Not through Twitter, not through YouTube, but just some random dude. I loved the landing page, bought the course, and through that, I found Danco on X, which got me started writing there, and on YouTube, which I still watch him to this day.
Yeah. And why did you start writing? Because like you don't have a radio face, you could also do, I don't know, video or anything else. Well, why writing?
Funny story. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. But when I tried YouTube and X, originally my X account was to bring people to my YouTube channel. But I found out that my target audience wasn't on X. But at that point, I made such good friends on X. Instead of dropping X, I dropped YouTube instead. And yeah, everything worked out. Somehow I'm still here.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so you found out about Danco, got on Twitter, start following him. Like, what were your first steps? Because I'm sure at first you were just maybe listening and lingering and maybe just only consuming but not really producing content. What were like your first steps writing online?
Well, so I'm in that unique position because I bought 2-hour writer before I started writing on X. So when I came to X, I already had like I had a foundation which a lot of other people didn't have. So I started writing, started messing around. My posts got like, after 2 weeks, I got a solid 20 followers, probably all bots, let's be real. But then a friend of mine hit 100 followers in 2 weeks. So I asked him how he did it. And he said, just engage, make friends. So then I started engaging, started making friends. And through trial and error, I slowly nailed down my niche, my positioning, and my friend group.
Cool. How did you like follow the first couple of people? How did you start engaging? Put us through that.
It starts with like finding 3 big people in your niche. So for me were people like Danco, Dakota Robertson, and Kieran Drew, I think, were my 3. Then from then, I'll go to their comments, find people around my size. So I had this dream 100 list of 100 people. 70% of them were accounts my size, which was like 0 to 500. 20% of them were 1 to 2K accounts, and 10 of them were big accounts like Danco, Alex Hormozy, Andrew Tate. And the point is to get the 70% of people to be your friends, the 20% of people to notice you, and hit or miss with the 10% of people. Because sometimes we see those comments which, if you comment on like Danco's post, and you comment early enough and it's a good comment, it'll skyrocket and get you like a couple followers.
Exactly. Nice. And like, what's your routine? You have like a couple lists, and how much time you spend a day? How does that work?
Well, honestly, now my routine is different. So I made a big mistake when I started X, is that I thought that as long as I just engaged a ton, I'll just blow up and somehow eventually like money would appear in my bank account. But as a result of that, after 2 months, at about 500 followers, I just completely burned out. So I stopped engaging. Instead, I just put all my focus onto writing, onto storytelling also. And now I kind of do a bit of a hybrid. I still have my Dream 100 list, but I normally engage with about a list of like 150 friends who are around my size, a bit smaller, a bit bigger. And when I feel like it, I just go into the list and joke around because jokes do a lot better for engagement because it stands out among everyone just trying to rephrase the post or provide value.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. It's a good one. Nice. All right. And so, you spent a lot of time in the first couple of months just engaging with others. You built a following of about 500 people, and then, just too much, and you started writing a bit more. Did you immediately hit your niche? Did you immediately go into that storytelling, or how did that go?
Those 2 months after I stopped engaging were like the slowest periods of my X journey. So, it was just trial and error. I found 3 smaller creators whose writing I really liked. I tried to emulate it. A lot of failure, some success. And I got to this point where I was getting decent views, but once again, it wasn't all me. At the end of the day, my writing was still a combination of their stuff. And if you try to copy people, at most you'll be second best. So That's when storytelling came in. This was like early January, early February. So my New Year's resolution was storytelling. I had bought books, I had studied YouTube videos. So I thought, hey, no one really posts storytelling stuff on X. I'm going to try. So I started posting a bit of stories and people responded rather well to it. Nothing major until February 14th this year. For some stupid reason, my mind was like, oh, you know what? It's Valentine's Day. I'm going to post a romance story. So I wrote a nice romance story about some like sad incident that happened last year. No one had done this on X before. I did not expect anything. Posted it. Within like the next day, I got comments, DMs, followers, people saying it was the best post on X. And the market chose my niche. And from then, now I'm the storytelling guy.
Very nice, very nice. Cool. And so, run us through your system of like creating a story. Of course, there's like bits and pieces of things you experienced in your life, but not everybody can then package that into something that's enjoyable to read. How do you do that?
Well, a story is simply a moment of change and your reaction to that change. So, for example, recently a friend of mine went viral. She got like 6,000 followers in a day. And honestly, I was a little bit jealous. So, being a content creator, I decided to turn that into content. So I just wrote a short story about how I was really annoyed, really jealous. But in the end, I wrapped it up with some transformation and saying, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I have still built out an audience for myself and I'm still proud. So that's the moment of change. That's the reaction to that change. And also, a good story is always relatable because if your story is relatable, if people understand it, then they'll trust you more. And if they trust you more, they're more likely to buy whatever you put out in the future. So these are normally the 2 things I look forward to when making a story.
Yeah, very nice. Okay. And so that one story more or less landed in your lap. You were a bit jealous. You saw that, her post was popping up. You thought, damn, that should have been me, or I want that as well. But if nothing like that, pops up in your feed or happens to you, how do you still come up with content to post? I assume you post daily. So how do you do that?
As long as it's relatable and transformational, then would be what I go for. Because honestly, at this moment, about like a month ago, I hit a stage where I kind of ran out of relatable things. Because the other time I'll be like, oh, I'm broke, I'm not making money, but I'm gonna do my best, gonna try, and eventually I'll make it. It's relatable, it's transformational, everyone loved it, everyone blew it up. But then the problem is that I started signing clients. I'm no longer broke. I make a living off of X. I'm technically living the dream, So then I had to pivot my content to more of like relatable feelings. For example, even when I post on X, even though people see me as a leader, I still feel imposter syndrome. Some might not relate to that, but they understand how that feels. So because of that, they blew that up too. And it's still something I'm trying to work around. It's honestly way more fun because now I can explore different perspectives that I didn't get to last time.
Is there a system behind this, or is it something just, you Google what's relatable to people, and then, you see some couple keywords and you think, okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to write about? Or how does that work?
Well, I have a 15-minute long-form writing process. So it goes ideation, hook, skeleton, and edit. Yeah. So first of all, it comes up with the idea. It's normally the moment of change or that relatable moment or some transformation, some feeling. And then after that, you write the hook. Because I've yapped on a lot about this in my content, but the hook is the most important part of the post. It's like Mr. Beast says, if people don't click, they don't watch. when writing a long form, it's the same thing. You could have the perfect body, but if people don't read your hook, no one's gonna see your beautiful body, your whatever is in there. You just need to nail the hook first. So once that's done, you just brain dump, because you kind of know like how it ends, because you know the lesson from the transformation, whatever, and you have the hook. It's just combining the two together, and then after that, you write out the end. You set the end in stone, and then after that, you go and edit the body, add analogies, add bullet points, fix up spelling mistakes. The thing most people get wrong with the body is that they think just because it makes up 80% of the post, therefore it must be the most important. But honestly, the way I see it, the body is there just to connect the hook and the end. As long as, a good rule of thumb for me is, as long as it looks aesthetically good to someone who cannot understand whatever language you're writing in, then it's good.
Is this like straight up from Dan Koh's writing course, or is this your experience as well? How did you come up with this?
I don't mean to brag, but a lot of this is me.
Oh, very good. Very good. And how do you come up with those systems? Because a lot of people just, they buy a course and they just, do what's in the course. They don't really think about, what works for me. They just copy somebody else, which is fine as well. But how did you come up with this? Why does this work?
Well, one of my mantras is just don't be afraid to experiment. Try that dumb romance story if you like it, if you want to. So for me specifically, I get most of my ideas from where no one looks. I recently had a story go viral where I took the writing style from a kid's book, How to Train Your Dragon, and that went well because no one had taken ideas from there before. I've also taken ideas from YouTube, from Stranger Things, from Logan Paul, from Mr. Beast. Everyone else mostly just finds their content on X. I look everywhere.
If you're a beginner creator who starts their writing journey today, what would you advise them to do?
In this case, would the goal be to monetize or just to build a personal brand?
Well, I think pretty much everyone's goal, at least in the circle like our podcast is in and Hyperion is in, I think in the end people want to monetize their audience. So what will you do in that case?
Well, firstly, pick a high income skill, because all of this is a value exchange. So in order to get value, in this case money, you're going to have to give value first. So pick a high income skill, then hone your skill using cheap or free work, get testimonials as social proof, and then when you're confident enough, charge high ticket. Most people think that you need to be in the top 0.001%. All you need to be is in the top 10%, because then people in like the bottom 50% would pay you for as long as you deliver. So once you've got your high income skill, you need to post a mixture of authority and personality content. Authority content to show people that, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm a leader. I'm not here to be some Discord mod talking about politics or whatever. I'm here to lead, to grow, to help people. And then personality content, because there's always someone who does what you want to do better and cheaper. So the only way you can stand out is by being yourself, by, showing your personality, showing your unique talents, showing your cat, your funny little flaws, and people would buy you. People would go with you just because they like you as a person.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I think like this is also a lot of imposter syndrome goes on around in this thing where you think, I'm not like Dan Koh or Kieran Drew or whoever. I'm not there yet, so I can't charge these numbers, or I can't make that course, or I can't, sell my services for 1 or 2K or more. But you're definitely wrong there. I think, if you just consistently deliver, then, and you have some skill, you have a couple of people that endorse you, I think it's pretty easy to ask for 1 or 2 or 3K. And like I get, I don't know, like a dozen DMs a day of people saying, hey, I can help you with YouTube or with Instagram or with the affiliate or with this and that. And then like I would say 95% of those DMs are really shit, and if you just message me and you've like worked out like something you can offer, I will literally hire you on the spot. I've had a couple of people only like in the last few years that DM me with a good offer, but also immediately they like worked out everything they were going to do. They showed me that they had it in them, and the only thing I had to do was just have a quick call with him, see if they're cool, and then start. So it's literally, don't ask for, hey, can I write a couple of tweets for you? Write those tweets, tell them to use them, whatever you do, if it's ghostwriting, whatever, and people will appreciate the fact that you've already given them value, and then it's so easy for them to just say yes, and you've got your first client. So Very cool.
The bar is just that low. Just do free work, and yeah, this is how you can connect to higher ups.
Exactly. Ben, thank you so much for this call, man. It was a lot of fun. Where can people find you?
So I'm on X at It's Me Ben Chan, because It's Ben Chan was taken. So yeah, as of now, that's my only social platform. Go hit me up there, say hi, go comment about my cat photos. I'll see you there.
Cool. Thanks, man.